Okay. Purdue makes a hire. And again, it was such a wild day with the playoff. We'll talk about it. I'm Spencer G, Slaughterhouse Sports. We're talking about the Purdue Boilermakers. They make Barry Odom a head coach at Purdue at West Lafayette. Wow. Tyson Heldon both times came in second place in this search. Tyson Heldon, the coach of Western Kentucky. Snake bit, the bridesmaid and not the bride for Tyson Heldon. So for Barry Odom, again, looking at the hires this cycle, let's just give a barometer of the coaches that are out there, and then we're going to get to Barry Odom specifically. So a lot of times, again, I'm not going to come on here I'm not going to come on here really trash somebody who's getting his opportunity. I could cite worries about it, maybe give lower grades. We try to give out grades or opinions on this show on Slaughterhouse. Let's look at the vacancies and how they've been filled. Have Central Florida, Scott Frost. He's won there. He has offense. He has a vision for Florida. It could fail if the recruiting gets worse, and he's going up a level to the Big 12. So covered that earlier. You can watch that video. I'm rated a B or B plus higher. There is some risk with that hire. West Virginia did not make a move. North Carolina did not make a move. We loved on this show Zach Kittley. Zach Kittley being hired as the head coach of Florida Atlantic. I think FIU did a nice job in their hire. So a lot of the smaller schools did well. Casey Keeler going to Temple, little bit of kind of a veteran coach. And again, that job is so hard. Now, Purdue is tough because this program is really, unfortunately, it's at the bottom, at almost all rock bottom. Taking this program over right now. Now you can fix it, kind of like Indiana, through the portal and through other means, and that's what they saw, in Barry Odom that was able to do that at UNLV, able to use the portal, able to live in that world, able to recruit well. Barry Odom at Mizzou, he did okay, but then he ended up getting fired, but he had Drew Lock, some of Lock's best years. He had that receiver Moore. He had Josh Heupel there, and that offense rolled in Columbia when Barry Odom was there. So Purdue, the craziest stat is if you spotted Purdue 34 points to start off a game, they would have went 6-6 last year. That's how badly their margins were. They were getting blown out to the point where Ryan Walters, who still was a very young coach, just couldn't survive in year two because the team was optically getting blown out. Offensive coordinator turned out to not work out with Hudson Card and Graham Harrell there at Purdue. Tough place to recruit, but Barry knows a little bit about defense. But there are reasons to be skeptical of this. Well, one, because it's West Lafayette. They have decent resources, maybe like Bloomington does. But it's a very hard job in the Big Ten hierarchy. It's a very hard job. Schedule-wise, it's hard. Resource-wise, it's tough. Very tough. They weren't going to go coordinator route because Ryan Walters, I guess you need somebody that can. I agree with the Barry Odom standpoint of you need kind of a CEO who's going to look at all these different things about football, and if they're motivated to do it, maybe it could work. And Brom could get you. Brom is a very, very good coach, and he got Purdue to a certain level, but are they going to put everything in the football? It's going to be a tough place to win and to win big. The upside of Odom, at Missouri, he was fine, but I don't think offensively he was that great. Now he hired Brendan Marion, and they did out-talent a lot of people in the Mountain West. So I wonder from a scheme standpoint, if I was a Purdue, as crazy as this sounds, I would maybe even look at an FCS head coach, or I would look at a guy whose scheme is so wild, like an Andy Kotelnicki, that your scheme is such a pain in the ass to play that you kind of have this unique brand about you as a smaller school. Think about what Jeff Brom was able to do at Purdue. Think about Mike Leach up at Washington State, like the style and how he was able to win 7 or 8 games because you just don't see that style. Now, Barry's done a decent job. Like, he hired Heupel, he hired Brennan Marion. He spent time at Arkansas as a defensive coordinator, did decent there, but got shredded some. It seemed like he was at UNLV for longer, but did great there, went 19-8. So he recruited Vegas very well, but West Lafayette is not exactly Las Vegas. We look at this candidate pool. I would have went Tyson Helton. I would have went offensive route. Tyson Helton hired Arbuckle, Zach Kittley. Like, Helton's doing a great job in Bowling Green at, Western. And I think that he should get rewarded. And maybe, do they think he's going to be so much like his brother Clay Helton? So I think that Tyson should get a look eventually, and maybe he will in this West Virginia search. Barry is decent. I think the job is also very hard. I think Odom is fine. There are coaches that I just frankly like more in terms of football scheme. I think Barry's a straight, very, I think that he's honest. I think he's a good guy. I think he's relatable. I think that he is not pretentious. So I think he's real. He's authentic and likable. Okay. I think that about him. But from a defensive, from just creative standpoint, is he going to be creative? Is this offense, is it Purdue going to be fun and creative enough to build it? And you look at programs like, I look at Arizona State with Kenny Dillingham and all of that, young emotion, and that helped out at Arizona State. Now, Will Healy tried that at Charlotte. It didn't pan out. So sometimes going the younger option, it could either hit big or not. Barry can maybe stabilize it from rock bottom, and maybe not a lot of people, maybe even Helton wasn't really interested in this job. So Odom has experience, knows that region of the country well, Oklahoma, Missouri, so knows the Midwest, knows the South decently well in the middle of the country. Think it's okay. I'm giving it like a B- C+. And again, it's almost not fair, because if Barry goes 9-3, I'll flat out admit I was wrong. So I'm not going to sit here if he goes 8-4, 7-5, and has his successes. I'm not going to tell you that it was a failure, because at Purdue, if you go 8-4, you're damn succeeding. I think he'll do okay, but I think that the upside is higher, even with an Andy Kotelnicki. Or, we even have Sumrall, you have Zach Kittley. I'm trying to even think of the best coordinator. Like Brennan Marion, if they hired Brennan Marion at Purdue, now Purdue might be worried that Brennan Marion would then leave for a better job if he ever succeeded there. But Brennan Marion himself, I believe, has a higher upside than Barry Odom. I can look towards UNLV's success and be like, that offense is just ridiculous. How they were able to do it with both quarterbacks, and Marion, I think, is so sought after. So Marion, I think, in the long term has the higher upside than Odom. So I think Odom's fine. A little bit plain, and we'll see. We'll see if this Purdue program can get it back. And I think it's kind of safe in some ways. What he did at Missouri. He didn't really flame out at Mizzou. Mizzou and West Lafayette are kind of comparable. Tougher jobs in, pretty big leagues. And I've been experienced and known what I've done, and it could bounce back and be even better. I'm happy for Odom. He does deserve it after UNLV. How great is he going to be at this spot? Okay, so that's what we'll see. Decent hire. Tyson Helton maybe would have been a little bit more exciting, bigger upside, but also bigger downside. So I think it's fine. I think it's okay. We'll give it a B, or a B- higher on Barry Odom. What do you guys think about Purdue now? Purdue football, Coach Odom. So I'm happy for him. He's a good guy. Congrats to Barry. Prove me wrong and be elite, Barry. Be elite. Not just good, not just solid like you were at Missouri. Take Purdue to the next level. So good guy in the business, and happy for Coach Odom. Let me know what you guys think about Coach going to West Lafayette.